Hello everyone, this is my last update for my Undecember Mage build level 80, which can of course do any activity in the game, void drift, mapping and so on with millions of DPS. For the skills, of course, we'll be playing flamethrower with spell damage increase, channeling increase, additional fire damage, area of effect and damage over time. We link it to the toxic flame with spell damage, additional poison damage and damage over time. You can also, if you have 5 links, optimize it so you can use another rune. For the meteor, we have the spell damage, the cooldown reduction, the projectile acceleration, so your meteor will land much more faster, the area of effect, and we link it to the lightning typhoon. We want the shock chance and the area of effect for this rune. Then we play the teleport with the use count and the disarm, the cold armor for the melee enemies with the sharpness, and our 2 buffs the protection with the time acceleration and the increased duration, also linked to released elements. We keep our summon for the boss only, and we use the protection totem, the new skill which allow to regen your barrier. For the stats, of course, all in intelligence, you can put some points in strength just to equip the bulwark of protection, but otherwise we want everything in intelligence. So we start with cliff in order to gain some spell damage, and then we move to forest also to have the spell damage. For the third one we want to get to gem, it will also boost our spell damage, and for the first one we go for the seed with the damage over time and the area of effect, and a bit later we'll take the leaf because it will give you some life and barrier. But before that we want to get the first specialization just here with brilliance, and we get the spell damage and also the damage over time. Then we move to number 5 with flash. We'll have this boost of barrier and spell damage, but also frost, which will increase our burning damage. It's cool to have it. Then we get the second specialization, vacuum. We boost the damage over time, but also the number of teleports that we can use just here. Then we move to breath. It will be interesting to have this additional fire damage and fire penetration. And for the 7th one, we go to scent, which will increase the area of effect and increase the damage when you miss. For the last one, we want farmer in order to increase the total barrier just here, and we'll also get shepherd here in order to boost our damage against enemies affected by that. Don't forget to get the last here. We want the damage over time and fire damage, the skill cooldown and the barrier charge cycle. Lastly, you can reach this one here and take this pass when you increase the damage when you are drill welding. For the gear, starting with the ones we want spell damage and damage over time. If you can, also fire damage will help, but the 2 first stats will be very important to have. Then for the armor part, we first want additional barrier in percentage, it's very important to have it, and then resistances, elemental and chaos resistances. It's also the same for the belt. For the rings and the necklace, we want a base with elemental damage. It will greatly boost your damage, but also one affix of elemental damage on each accessory. It's a bit hard to have, but it's very worthy, and then you take what you can with the resistances. To end up with a mastery, you'll take the spell damage in percentage and damage over time. For the gameplay, I put plenty of stuff so you can have a great idea of this build. You'll have the Void Rift level 90, a rare map level 88, the defense wave 45, and at the end DPS test on 1 and 3 dummies. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you'll enjoy this build and this update, and as usual if you have any question feel free to post in the comments. Bye bye.